Hello, and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. On behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you joined us for our 7th annual OTCQB Venture Conference. Our next live presentation is from Secure Private Data. Please note, you may submit questions for the presenter in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings by clicking Book a Meeting in the top toolbar. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome Alon Giahi. He's the founder and chief executive officer and director of Secure Private Data, which trades in the OTCQB venture market under the symbol SWISF and on the CSE under the symbol SKUR. Welcome back, Alon.
Thanks for having me.
SKUR, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. SKUR is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. SKUR is 100% private and does not collect or sell any of your personal data. SKUR's Helix technology connects you securely to our Swiss servers without the need of a VPN, guaranteeing privacy and security for all your communications. SKUR Messenger doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. Chat by Invites allows you to chat privately and securely with anyone outside of your secure network without the need for others to download SKUR. SKUR Send offers you a private and secure way to email anyone outside of SKUR. You won't find this level of privacy or security on any other email or instant messaging application. Visit SKUR.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
Thanks everyone for watching. My name is Alon Giahi, CEO of Sekur. Sekur is a private and secure communication suite hosted in Switzerland. We offer email, messenger, VPN, and other solution for private and secure communications. We operate out of the US, Switzerland, Latin America, and our office in Canada. Today's problem, typically when you look at big tech and all the hacks that are happening right now, are the main email solutions that everybody uses and how they are being compromised. This is a huge issue with big tech companies. We are outside of big tech. We host everything in-house in our infrastructures in Switzerland, and we also use our own encryption code. So there are several problems here on the left column. We have open source software being hacked, communications monitored by third parties, AI implementation in all communication, and all of that basically brings business email compromise and other attacks. BEC attacks are a big thing. It's essentially when an email is being intercepted without your knowledge, and then maybe you might make a payment to the hackers as opposed to your supplier, or documents sent to the wrong person. You get identity theft, and it's costing in the US economy alone about $100 billion a year right now. So we offer countermeasures to all of that. We have a special secure send feature. We have messaging without recording phone numbers, and I'll go over those in a minute. What we offer today, as mentioned, is the mail, which is an encrypted and private email system that lets you send email within and outside of your organization in full privacy. You can send a secure send to somebody that doesn't have secure. Their email reception will be fully protected and private, and they can use secure replying back, essentially using Sekur without having to register to our service or download our application. The system has several fail-safe. It's got password management, read limit, and self-destruct timers. You can also upload a ton of attachments where normal emails would limit you at about 30 megabytes. Our VPN is our own. That means we don't use the global infrastructure such as ExpressVPN that just had all their IPs leaked, and other VPNs that essentially spy on your internet traffic. Switzerland has very strict laws. Your IP address is considered your private property, and Secure VPN guarantees that and also encrypts your existing Wi-Fi connection if you're in a public place. Our messenger is very popular. Essentially, it's a full privacy messaging application for chat, voice notes, etc. You can do group chats, you can do file share, and it has the specificity of not recording a phone number. So you sign up with a username and password. You can also chat with people who don't have Sekur by inviting them to via text or email to chat with you, and later you can destroy the whole communication down to bare metal. That means there's no trace of the chat. For businesses, we offer an archiving tool, which is very useful for the financial industry, which has been penalized to the tune of $3 billion so far because banks and financial advisors are using other applications like WhatsApp, text, and Signal, etc., which are not compliant with SEC regulation. We are compliant with SEC rules. We're launching our enterprise solution next month, which will have more bells and whistles, and there'll be more news on that as we go. We already have partnerships for the enterprise solution globally, and that also opens the door for our government solutions. So kind of our 5 big things, our unique selling point is we have our own infrastructure hosted in Switzerland. We don't use open source coding. We have proprietary code. We obey Swiss law. We also offer this on-prem. So for federal governments or other institutions, we can install our application in their own country of residence. But in general, for the public, we host it in Switzerland, which guarantees full privacy. There's no data collection, no location mining, nothing like that, no address book data mine as well. These are all issues that essentially render you vulnerable to hackers. And we don't also have an AI intrusion. By that, I mean that we don't implement an AI tool in your communication because AI essentially is siphoning the entire database. Whatever you say, whatever you write is stored in AI, in third-party cloud and infrastructures. So your privacy is completely gone with that. So we don't have an AI implemented in our communication tool, which is actually quite in demand right now and valuable with our premium customers who want privacy. The concept here, this is a slide where it kind of tells you how the thing works. Everything is done within the server environment in Switzerland. So if I have a secure account and let's say you don't, I can essentially invite you to connect to the server through our Helix connection, which is proprietary. And then we all transact within the server as opposed to sending an encryption key over the internet. And this system is a lot more secure than your typical encryption that's out there. This is a little bit about the market size that we're targeting: US, Latin America. Recently, we announced also Africa. That's a whole other business. We are shifting the company more towards premium licenses, getting away from mass market. We also offer a lot more value. An individual can buy an email from $20 a month and be protected from identity theft and much bigger email compromise that could cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to people. Our average revenue per user starts at about $20. In the business is $35 per month, and then corporate premium would be $65 or over. Our target market in the US is about 80 million people, 30 million businesses, and also Latin America, where we have a huge partnership with América Móvil, the largest telecom operator. It's starting enterprise sales next month. So that's a big market for us. We opened up Africa. We've had a few press releases with that. Angola, Democratic Republic of Congo, and other countries. We expect to sell about 3,000 to 5,000 licenses over there in the next couple of years. These are licenses at about $1,200, $1,500 a year. So it would be a nice revenue upside from the international division. The government division, which we just opened up, we've had some news on that. We're working with some defense contractors for government contracts. More news will come in the coming weeks. And we believe we can sell at least 3,000 to 5,000 licenses in the next couple of years to US government organization, whether it's federal, state, local, protection services, and so forth. Again, these are licenses that are about $750 to $2,000 a year. We're also going to announce an entertainment division. We believe that there's a strong demand in the entertainment industry for privacy, for security. Celebrities have a lot to lose from when their privacy is breached. I'm sure some of us know about that and the news and scandals that are out there. So we offer a very unique protection suite for VIP celebrities in the entertainment industry and their managers that are basically, managing billions of dollars of contracts in the music and Hollywood industry. Our revenue projection here, again, this is pure projection. This is a conservative estimate. You can take a look. Our revenue has been steady so far, about $400,000 US. Our plan this year was to finalize our last private placement, which we just finished end of June, finish the enterprise and premium solution package, and start to ramp up around Q4 the enterprise and government solutions. We expect almost 10 times the revenue next year and a nice profit mode into next year. With the cash that we have today, we have enough cash, enough runway until profitability, which wasn't the case a few months ago. And as we close our placement June 30th, we were able to secure that. We also plan to develop the voice and video encryption, which should be coming out in Q1 of next year. This is a bit of our organizational chart. We have a total of about 15 to 20 people, including our corporate. We have about 9 people in the technology, 6 in sales and marketing. The rest are just executives and corporates. This is, again, you'll have this recorded, I'm sure, our board of directors, our advisory board. We are going to add more advisory board members in the defense industry. As we're discussing with them, they will strengthen our advisory board and strengthen our sales effort to get government contracts. This is a cap table. I'm sure you guys know what it is. We have about 211 million shares outstanding, management owning about 20% of that, maintaining fairly steady ownership as they participate in each round. And we have about 85 million warrants coming out in the next 4 years, some already coming out in about a year from now. That should capitalize the company quite well. And also stock options for management that are expiring in the next 2 to 8 years. This is our roadmap. So Q2, we launched our SMB platform. We are doing email digital campaign as we speak for the financial and legal industry. We are launching our enterprise and premium solution. Right now, we're in the middle of it. So I think by the end of Q2, which is September, we'll be having that out. In Q3, we want to launch with America Móvil in Mexico, our enterprise solution for banks and other large organizations for secure messenger. America Móvil has about 380 million subscribers, so that's quite a big company in all of Latin America. We're going to start our video and voice encryption R&D development, which is planned to be completed by Q1 of next year. And we also are planning by September, October to really launch heavily in Africa and Europe. In Q4, we're expanding to more countries, maybe in Latin America, and we will start our government expansion solution for federal and local governments, US and international. Next year, we plan to have our voice and video encryption, our privacy browser, which should be completed by the end of next year or Q1 of 2027. I think that summarizes more or less what we have. In summary, what invest in Sekur, gross profit margins of 85% recurring, 65% in B2B. So this is what we call a SaaS model, software as a service. We're debt-free, revenue producing within a few quarters of profitability. We have the largest telecom operator in Latin America as a client already, and we're looking at a couple operators internationally as well. Those are telecom companies. And we also offer a ground level investment opportunity as a company with revenue, cash in the bank, and no debt, and very close to profitability. Our international expansion is Africa and Europe with signed contracts already. That's pretty much it. We also have a F1A filing that we completed last couple of years. This is essentially for an uplisting to a higher exchange in the US. We plan to reactivate that in the next few quarters as we become profitable to uplist to a higher exchange, NASDAQ or NYSE. Thank you very much for listening, and I'm ready for questions. Okay, I have a question. I'm not allowed to mention the names of who are asking. So I have about 10 questions. One of them is, okay, I work with different affluent clients, would like to be able to purchase a physical card, an annual membership. Yeah, this is the kind of direction that we want to go, is the ultra high net worth luxury market. And yes, we could have, let's say, one of these silver card. We can produce limited number of cards, which would have like an annual membership or a 5-year membership for high net worth individuals and their families. And that's a great. So Josh, I'm just going to give you a first name. Feel free to contact us at connect@secure.com, because I'd love to discuss that. Somebody from Germany, what sales revenue do you expect for 25 and 26? So I think I have them in here so 2025 is going to be fairly flat because we're just starting to ramp up. In 26, we're expecting, again, this is with full disclaimer on this page here, we expect to increase, if we meet our target, over $3-4 million US. And 2027, we haven't made projection, but if we do that, the following year, we can probably double or triple that, because that means that we would have really penetrated the markets that we're looking at. And then it's a matter of scaling growth. When you think about it, 3,000 licenses, premium license or government license, it's really nothing when you have hundreds of thousands of people in different governments. You have 22 million millionaires in the US alone. So, you know, there's no reason why we can't sell 1 million licenses in the next few years. And those would be about $1,500 a year each. So hopefully I answered that question. We basically plan to be profitable inside of 12 months. I think that's what this person is trying to find out as well. Joseph, won't mention your last name. What certification compliance standard are most critical for Sekur? So, yes, so is a platform validated by third-party audit. We've had PCI DSS certification. We're going through a government certification. I can't disclose too much right now. And next year, just to have it, we plan to do our SOC 2 certification. That usually satisfies every bank in the world and anybody in the world. So hopefully, Joseph, I'm answering your question. Also, being a partner with the 5th largest telecom in the world and having gone through over a year of due diligence is better than any certification that you pay $30,000, $40,000 and pass just because you just pass it and you pay them. I think the biggest validation is having a company that's $80 billion with close to 400 million subscribers, having them validate your product, for us is more important than one of these certification programs that anybody can get when they pay. How does secure proprietary tech and closed circuit Swiss hosting differentiate from established privacy like Proton Signal? I love that question. So Proton is an open source. It's been hacked a few times. It doesn't have the features that we have, so it doesn't have the messenger, anything like that. Their email doesn't have the secure send feature either. They're hosted on Amazon Web Service. On top of that, ours are hosted in our own systems, and all of these open source companies have been compromised. Signal, I think if you look at the biggest high-level privacy breaches that they had was with Secretary of State of the United States, where anybody was able to go into Signal for free and make up a name and use AI to call other leaders on behalf of the Secretary of State. I think that's astronomically dangerous. And the other one was Secretary of Defense of the United States that got hacked into Sekur, whether somebody went by accident or forced themselves. And these solutions essentially divulge your phone number. So if you have somebody's phone number, you can literally hack into it. So we are very different than that. Greg, contact me and I'll send you a specific white paper we did for that. So that'll explain how our architecture is very different. Tutanota is a German company. It's a pretty good company. I don't know if they use open source or not. They are not really business oriented. It's a very consumer oriented solution. I've heard from many people that our interface is way better, but I have a lot of respect for Tutanota. It's a good company. So I would recommend them, but they definitely don't have the features that we offer, where you have the secure send feature. If you go to secure.com and you go to our product and you go to Secure Mail, you'll see a little video that explains how Secure Send works. But Tutanota I prefer than Proton, for example, by far. Proton has been hacked multiple times. Last year in October, 4,000 staffers from Congress got their entire data leaked into the dark web from Proton. So I wouldn't recommend using Proton whatsoever. Also, Proton, I should mention, is a non-profit that's funded by the EU governments now to the tune of several million euros. So you're not really getting the privacy aspect, you're not getting the independent aspect. This is a government-funded non-profit, essentially. Number 6, Marcus, at what share price would you consider Secure to be fairly valued? I mean, I bought when it was 50 cents and I bought at the last private placement. I'm not an analyst to give you that answer, and it would be biased for me to give you that answer. I think that's something that you can look at somebody else. We've had some analysts before that valued it at much higher than today. And you have to look at what is the company today compared to 2021 when it was at 40 cents US, for example, and losing millions of dollars. Today, we brought down our losses to very close to almost nothing. We're cashed up, we have no debt, and the product of the enterprise is rolling out. So I would say today is more valuable than 2021. That's the only judgment I can give you without really being biased. Morgan, I'm working with tech entrepreneur. This product seems like it would be a great fit for them. What is your take on? Yeah, I'm happy to work with other people. Our priority is definitely to sell and resell. So Morgan, connect at secure.com, CONNECT@SEKUR.com. Contact me and we can have a call on that. Orion, what is your take on the attorney market? That's a fantastic market. In fact, there's a huge company, I knew the chairman, one of the biggest law firm in the world that got hacked, in fact, with business email compromise. We're talking to a couple of large attorney firms that have about 1,500 lawyers. So anybody that can help me with getting these attorneys and investment banker, but definitely attorneys, it'd be great. We also offer an affiliate program, I should mention. So if you want to be an affiliate and get your own link, this is something we're going to push heavily in Q4. Please contact me. You can sign up and get 25% recurring revenue share when you sell through your link. So attorney market is massive. They have huge liability, and also the real estate market as well. This is where attorneys, I know an attorney that's being sued because her client wired $700,000 to hackers instead of her for the purchase of a condo. So attorneys should buy for $35 a month our solution. I think it would be well worth it. So Orion, please make sure you contact me. Roger, which industry geographies are driving the strongest demand? Swiss hosted, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so Roger, I think the industries are definitely legal, financial, and also now government industry. That could be, all sorts of things in the government. It could be defense, could be other ministries. The geography, our focus is US, obviously Africa right now, because we have some very deep contacts in there that we're starting relations already. So we also have a relationship in Sri Lanka with the largest telecom operator there, and it just came back to us with a demand for a few thousand users. They want on-premise, so we'll see. But I think that US, Latin America, Africa is definitely very big. So that's where demand is. That's where you have the most hack. The industries are all sorts, but definitely financial, legal, government, real estate, mortgage, insurance, definitely what they call, I guess, white collar industry. Let me see. Sorry, 1 second. This is great. We have a lot of good questions. So Roger, I answered. Justin, I know this is one of my dear shareholder. Could you be partnering with huge luxury brand? That would be fantastic. In fact, we're looking, going back to Roger's question too, we want to partner with private jet company, yacht company, luxury brands, because these brands cater to high net worth individuals that are being compromised on a daily basis, and it's costing them millions of dollars, basically the individuals. So yes, Justin would love to get luxury brands. We are going to look into it. One of my board members is actually a member of the Monaco Yacht Club, where you have a lot of wealth there and luxurious things happening and yacht companies and whatnot. I was just discussing with him yesterday how we should approach some of these brands and yacht builders and private jet lease companies and so forth. And it'd be great if we can have a partnership with, let's say, I don't know, like Aston Martin or Bentley or something like that. There's no reason. Or yacht builders and designers or private jet companies. Roger, with a gross profit of 85%, how are you allocating between R&D, marketing, and international expansion? Okay, that's a great question. We used to do a ton of money allocated for marketing in 2021 when money was flowing in the markets. We were able to really refine our target in the marketing business. And we realized that going premium and more selective is better than just having a mass market approach. Our R&D, I think on a yearly basis, I think this year our R&D budget will be almost half of what the whole operation costs. The R&D expense is going to be fairly flat. I mean, we're looking at about maximum about $400,000, $500,000 a year US, where the company can run basically with about $700,000, $800,000 US. So even if we do $20 million of business, that might go up to $300,000, but it's not the same scale as a revenue. So hopefully that helps. International expansion, we're very careful how we do it. We only do it with very solid contacts that we have. So as opposed to targeting a country and putting a ton of money in advertising there, we go with our, to use an old term, our Rolodex. So if we have good contacts in a particular country, we have these affiliate partners or referral partners that are business people or politicians or ex-politicians. This is who we partner with to penetrate a country. This was the case with Africa. So in the US, it's a vast market and we go with partners. There'll be a lot more news about the US as well and our government effort in the next few weeks. So please stay tuned and watch our ticker because we will announce quite a few things. Greg, what are the chief operational risks as you scale up? So support in multiple language, we don't really have an issue. We already offer support in Spanish and English. If we choose so, we can do German. Not a big issue to support in 3 languages. Thankfully, the world speaks English and Spanish is the second biggest language in the world outside of China, obviously, but we're targeting more Latin America. There could be something in Brazil. Scaling up is not an issue because we have infinite scalability. I think for every 1 million subscriber, we have to spend $700,000 in machine, which we amortize over 3 years. So if you had 1 million subscriber, that'd be $20 million per month in recurring revenue for an infrastructure cost of maybe $50,000 a month. So it's not really registering. So that's the good news. I think once we get to a bigger scale, we will hire a chief operating officer, probably chief revenue officer. We have a few people in mind that have about 20, 30 years of experience in enterprise sales. So our cost is not going to go that much up and we would hire qualified people to do that. Alfredo, there was a drop in the spend for 2026. So yes, the drop in spend is because we don't need to build all this R&D. Essentially, I'm glad somebody mentioned that because essentially our main product line is already out and the only spending will be for the voice and video encryption, which is already starting in September. And then after that, it's going to be our browser base, our privacy browser, which will be very unique. So we don't need to develop more enterprise feature. And we have what we call a maintenance cost, which is typically to do upgrade and maintenance. So that's the tune of our R&D. This is where the last 3-4 years we spent a lot of money and now finally we can cool off on that. So that's where the savings come from. Also reducing marketing as we do more B2B and we get more word of mouth. This is where we don't have to spend, $200,000-$300,000 in marketing anymore. And we can just rely on our existing contracts and word of mouth. I want to answer all of them. Blake, somebody I know invited, okay, I know who it is. What do you see as a potential percentage of family office using SKUR? Well, family offices, 85% of them don't have the tools to protect themselves, according to CNBC. So if you have about 5,000 family offices, I'm hoping to get all 5,000. It's not a big deal for a family office to pay $75 per user for a full package of privacy, browsing, messenger, and email, not to mention that if they use a chat application, they have to also comply, I believe, with the SEC regulation. So family offices would do well to use Sekur. And what's great about these family offices is that they manage wealthy individuals' funding, which could be potential future shareholders for the company. If they like the product, they'll buy the shares and invest in the future of the company. So I'm hoping we get a big percentage of family offices. So there's a lot of sectors, as you can hear here, and there's just not enough bandwidth right now. But somebody here, Jack, my name is Jack, and I'm curious, as you picture Sekur having more than 5 million users. Can you picture? Yeah, I can picture Sekur having 5 million users. How many people I would need to hire to get 5 million people? Not many. If you get, let's say, 3-4 telecom operators in the world, and if you get essentially a few good resellers, you don't need to hire a lot of people. But if we had 5 million people, we would hire probably 5-6 people for support. That would be the most. So let's say whatever, it would be like an expense of maybe $200,000 overall for everything per month. So we'd spend $2 million more per year, but 5 million user would get you about $600-800 million, or probably $1 billion a year in revenue, because $20 is really the smallest email package for an individual. So you're looking at $100 million a month in revenue, and we would spend what, $300,000 more in revenue. So you can see that it's really negligent what we would have to hire. Greg, how much Sekur future roadmap is focused on organic versus partnership, white label, etc.? So organic innovation is our prime directive. Partnerships to sell our product, not to partner with other tech, because we have a very proprietary tech that's been developing for the last 15 years. White label, yes, we would totally do white label for companies. As a matter of fact, our corporate solution launching next month will eventually have a white label version. So if you're a bank and you want to use it for your client base, you can have white label. Or let's say you're a telecom operator or you're a luxury brand, we would totally do white label. M&A activity, we don't really see that for the foreseeable future, because we have our own growth that we can expand. You know, if we get 50 million users and we're stalling, yeah, maybe there's an M&A activity, but there's nowhere near enough. There's too much to do before we consider M&A. And remember, M&A sounds great, but if you're buying a company and has X amount of users, you have to say to yourself, how much did those users cost you, and what is the ROI? So it has to fit a formula. If it costs us $5 for a user and we get $50 for each, yes, M&A makes sense. If it's just to do an M&A that's bloated and it's going to increase the share count and deplete the cash of the company, we have to really be careful with that. I think we can grow ourselves through partnerships before that happens. Joshua, I know we've been trying to meet. Where do you see the biggest sales opportunity? In terms of the sector, I think, like we mentioned, you know, high net worth, definitely corporate, legal sector, which I know you're in. That's one of the biggest sectors, country-wise, and also financial sector. So countries, I'm looking at US, Africa, and some countries. Asia is a distant future. I think there's enough work to do in the US, Latin America, and Africa for that. So the sectors are the big ones: legal, financial, insurance, people that have valuable communication, obviously government, defense, etc., which we are planning to move towards. When in the next few weeks, there'll be more clarification on that. Vivek, thanks for coming. Who are some potential buyer of service in areas where you're expanding? The typical profile of a buyer as an individual, it's somebody that just wants their privacy. People that may have been hacked, they don't need to be a high net worth individual. Somebody that just wants to have a privacy. And then in terms of the corporate world, it would be definitely C-level executives going down, and the industries that we discussed. It could be anything from legal to aeronautics. But the biggest market, I would say, in the US at least, real estate, mortgage, legal, financial. Those are the biggest markets because they're being hacked. They have a lot of data that's related to financial information. Definitely our typical buyer is not a teenager or a 22-year-old that just goes to Google and doesn't want to pay their $20 a month. It would be somebody more of a professional that sees the value of the security and privacy that we offer. Benoit, hi Benoit. What about illegal activity from client on Sekur? Well, we validate everyone with a valid credit card. Typically, an illegal person is not going to go and pay a service like ours. They will go to Signal. In fact, most do, or Telegram and Gmail. So we haven't encountered any of that. And typically, when you go to a big reseller like a telecom operator, they have their own client base. So the vetting is on them. Russ, hi Russ. Who could potentially buyers be if you're thinking about being acquired? Do you anticipate selling direct to customer as well as reseller? Like how many subscribers can you be adding? Okay, so first of all, acquisition, we're not going to be considered being acquired until we have at least 50 million subscribers, because at that time we can think, can we still grow big or not? There's too much to grow right now, so we would be leaving a lot of money on the table. Of course, this is a public company, so it would all be put to a vote. I know that management is not interested in selling anytime soon. Once we get maybe 10 million subscribers, and we'll see. And it depends who the acquirer is, because we do want to have this to be a privacy application and not be sold to another Microsoft that's just going to ruin everything. So the other thing is, the B2B is a big business, Ross. And then I think organically we can go direct to consumers. It's spending money to go directly to subscriber is not cheap. How many subscribers can I be adding in the next 5 years? It all depends. We could be adding 50 or 100,000 subscribers that give us $1,000 a year. That's better than 1 million people that are giving us $10 a year, because it's less taxing on our system, on our support, and we have a different strata of customer that is going to churn a lot less. If somebody is desperate in privacy and security, they're not going to change because we increased our price by $10. So, and it's a hard question to answer. How many subscribers can you add in 5 years? Well, it depends. If we raise, let's say, $5 million next year, and let's say acquisition cost of $50 on average, we can have 100,000 subscribers in 2 years, and then we can double that each year, essentially. So your answer could be like 500,000 people. That'd be a good way to do it. It's not going to be 500,000 people at $100 a month, but I think we could easily add 500,000 to 1 million people in 5 years. It all depends on how much money we raise and how we do it. With your promise of no AI anywhere, how do you plan to deliver core user features, spam phishing detection? We have all of that. And essentially, I want to tell you, I was discussing with somebody in one of these agencies in the government, and one of the few things that they were excited about is because we don't have AI in our system. Essentially, AI is a man-made product. It's man-inputted still. We're not talking about intelligent AI yet. So these are manipulated AI systems. And the reason why you have phishing, etc., with AI, it's much worse because they already know the open source coding of the top 5 companies that essentially give us all our services. If you're off-grid and you're on a completely different language, AI, which is man-made, I need to mention that, and people manually input answers in AI still, I think AI will have a hard time to get into our post-quantum technology. That will be a long way from now. And we keep evolving in our coding and tech. When I meant AI, no AI anywhere, I meant we're not going to input AI into your privacy communication, because AI comes from someplace. So if I input some AI tool, that AI is going to take your data, your private communication, and store it someplace with Google or Microsoft or whoever is the next AI company. We do not want that. Our customers that pay $1,500 a year for a solution. Don't want that either. The government doesn't want that. And this has been validated by the last few conversations I've had the last few days with people in the agency in some of the government. So I prefer not to have the AI right now. So far, I mean, knock on wood, in the last 15 years, we have never suffered a successful hack, and they tried from every country you can imagine. How do you plan to scale once you reach over $1 million revenue and past profitability? We're just going to keep scaling actually much higher. We're going to add maybe just a few more people, and we're going to keep getting bigger and bigger. An example would be if we penetrate a government and they buy, let's say, 1,000 licenses, that's $1 million. Well, if they buy 5,000 licenses, it's really the same thing, Vivek. It's just more licenses and $5 million in that case. This is why going premium and having a very select solution that's not necessarily for the big mass market is a lot easier to scale, and the profit margins are much bigger for the company. Don D, I would like to add this to my digital card as exclusive and secure communication option. Digital card, do you mean crypto? I'm not sure. But if that's what you mean, we just received authorization from our auditor 2 days ago that we will be able to accept crypto as payment. So I think by the end of September, we will integrate it in our Stripe account. So you'll be able to pay with, I think it's USDT, Sol, Solera, those kind of things. You can pay for Sekur using digital currency. This will be announced soon as well. I think that's what you meant, Don. William D, I have inroads into the professional athlete community. That's fantastic. I think that's a great business. In fact, I was looking at the entertainment industry, and obviously the athletes, you know, people talk about NFL and these kind of things. So William, please contact me, connect@sekur.com. We can have a call. I'd love to get into the athlete and professional community. They have a lot to lose when they send a wrong text or email that's leaked out to the press. Roger B, again, Roger, what evidence do you have of this affecting buying decision? Okay, large, no bill, what evidence do you have of this affecting buying? We don't have evidence if it's definitely when you buy a product that's Swiss hosted, just by reputation of Switzerland being more private than, let's say, other countries, that's part of the decision. We've had a lot of feedback that having a Swiss hosted outside of big tech is a big decision maker. Steve B, are there potential marketing referral partnership with any luxury? We saw those. We don't have any luxury brand yet. We're working on it, Steve. Janelle, webcast engineer, great, thank you. Wrap up soon. Okay, there's no analyst coverage. Alan, how much of the shares are owned by US investors? I don't know yet, but a very good chunk. Vivek, how do you plan to scale up once we move beyond? Okay, I think I've seen those. We have to wrap up because I'm told that we ran out of time. So everybody, can you please connect? Use connect@sekur.com, CONNECT@SEKUR.com. I'd love to address some of these questions, and I think we can wrap it up.